Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, about a month or so, then you can go to Patreon where it's $5 a month. Yeah, you could be playing this right now, but instead you have to wait for a month or more. On the last Let's Play, we started version 0.45, where our rat friend, whose name I forget, Rat Aeon, came back, tied Aeon up to one of these pillars so that he's hidden, and had a healing glyph on him, and then fought a whole bunch of dogs using a whole bunch of tricks to like put smoke and slippery stuff all over the place, find them well, until he was knocked to the ground, and Gunnar was kind of torturing him to try and learn where Aeon is because he's hidden right up there. But then all of a sudden, when Aeon's like, "Stop! Don't torture him anymore," all of a sudden he's disappeared. I think. So reset face and begin. Except now, they were holding nothing but his cloak. The rat himself was nowhere to be seen. How? How could you possibly... Wait, Zarek. The shadow of Tharos, Mossbane. His ember. I know. I've seen this... Fuck! The Wolf General started running towards me in panic and utmost urgency, stopping without a care over the still cracking and smoldering remains of the rat's horde. The edge of his blade shone for but an instant. As he summoned a distant slash to sever the rope binding me to the uppermost part of the marble column. Holding my book in one hand, I tried to claw onto any crack in the stone, but it was too smooth. A dozen soldiers ran towards me, racing against time to catch me before I hit the floor. Within the length of just one heartbeat, I experienced the growing dread as I fell from the safety of the ceiling towards the pack of Grove's dogs and wolf soldiers. My life flashed before my eyes. It was very quick because I was also young. If they were to catch me, I knew it would be over for me, for sure. Everything all of us feared would become reality. Oh, and them, yeah. Even Gunnar's fears, the Observer's punishment. Despite the full understanding of that cruelty, I was sure he believed when he said it was a necessary evil. My mind went blank from the sheer hopelessness. But then, rock music appeared. I felt a strong presence and moved quickly outside the room, to the side of it, then over the ceiling. I was calling out, reaching out to me, or it was calling out. It called to my canine senses, urged me to connect and to open myself. I reached my hand up. The presence. It descended down the column. Rodent Ember. No! Dust to dust. I grabbed onto Zarek's hand as he jumped out of the marble column, spraying sparkling droplets of magic-infused liquid stone into the air. The soldiers skidded over the marble, desperately leaping at us. Gunnar shouted something to me with his eyes wide open as we fell all the way down towards the floor to the narrow spot between the packs of armored dogs. But I instinctively knew not to brace myself for impact. Instead, I held my breath. Shuddering at all the familiar sensation of delving through the liquid rock, one floor after another, holding tight onto Zarek's hand. Gunnar's desperate shout was instantly muffled through the thick layer of rock, and my eyes could barely register the quick switching between floors as we free fell through the castle corridors, bedrooms, and storage rooms. Finally, we stopped at the edge of the rose garden, landing over the dew-marbled path. Magic crackled at our feet, as well as at every spot in the rock we had phased through, as it was reassembling into an original form. I knew it was what it was. That was the exact same magic that was inscribed onto the passage to the observer's hideout. Is he fluffy all of a sudden? Your tail. It's fine. Nothing a couple gallons of potions and a week's rest couldn't fix. I think I told you to stay quiet up there. How could I? He was about to cut your tail off. Doesn't matter. To be honest, kid, I'm not gonna live past the stun anyway. And that's fine. All I need was to buy you enough time to recover for your escape. You seem better now. Can you run? Yes, I... Hey. Come on. Don't cry. Shit. Sorry. Listen, it's not like I'm sensing death anymore. It's just that, you know what we're up against. Yes. I'm fine. I can run. I tried my best to look up at him and sound calm, but my eyes kept falling down to his mangled tail. I couldn't keep a whine from escaping my throat. My vision blurred from tears. As the howls echoed across the whole castle, weaving into a net of 100 nodes of connections in Gunner's pack mentality, I felt Zerch's touch on my neck as he fashioned something around it. After wiping tears from my eyes, I saw him smiling at me, with his whole face exposed. I clearly saw the old scar over his right eye. The patch he used to cover it was now fastened around my neck. You keep my eye patch safe for me. It's very important to me. And I'll give you this back to you, only once we're out of the grove. He took my book out of my hands and dropped it back into his holding seal. The look in his eye, he seemed so uncharacteristically kind. Deal? The first hounds and soldiers started pouring outside, calling out to others about our location. Two of them raised their crossbows at us from afar, and I gasped in shock as Eric deflected both those flying bolts with the flash-like strikes of one of his daggers. I didn't know what made my heart pump faster more, the dreadful realization that Gunner ordered them to shoot at us at will, even despite my presence, or the view of the half-crouched rat with this shining dagger held in his reverse grip, while he deflected the crossbow bolts, spun, and dug deep into the wood and stood behind us. Even through that maneuver, he didn't let go of my hand. Teach me how to be as cool as you, please. Of course, little lone wolf. Right away. First lesson. Fucking run! As the voices of more rushing dogs and cocked crossbows echoed through the garden, Zarek and I ran towards the wall behind us and jumped through it. Like one could leap through waterfall, the impact of the crossbow bolts hitting the rock on the other side sounded no louder than gentle tapping. We dashed past confused guards before dipping into another room and another, through storage rooms, bedrooms, infirmaries, jumping over beds of both soldiers and guests. We didn't run straight for the outside, though. Zarek made us constantly change directions to throw off those dogs that were woven into Gunner's pack mentality, as he knew they had better grasp of our movements. Higher and higher we climbed through our magic, and I could feel Gunner's presence encompassing the whole fortress. All eyes, swords, and minds worked together in perfect union to track and trap us. Despite the ability to phase through walls, ceilings, and floors of the castle, it felt like we weren't any less trapped than before. A rat and a puppy in the middle of a pack of wolves. And yet, I felt neither doubt nor regret in Zarek's heart. How long can you keep doing this? As long as it fucking takes. So, forever? Well, nah. Probably like for another minute. Only that? Do you have a plan? Dodging hands, bolts and blades of a dozen of canine soldiers became progressively harder and more frantic, as it seemed that Gunner's pack slowly closed off more and more of the routes of escape. And yet, I felt unwavering confidence in Zarek's mind. I caught a glimpse of yet another shard of mana crystal flickering between his fingers. The final rays of the night's moonlight reflected a hue of yellow through it. After a few more turns and leaps, as we were nearly guided into a specific direction by Gunner's pack, we finally jumped off a high balcony back into the open field of my rose garden. Except this time, as we were quickly falling towards the ground, I saw the whole perimeter was already fully surrounded from all sides by so many soldiers I couldn't even count them all. A trap on a wide open ground with no rooms below to phase through. Hold your breath. With a wide swing, Zarek tossed the mana crystal into the marble path, shattering into dust and falling between the flying crossbow bolts. We dove straight into the ground itself. Darkness and silence overtook me as we fell into what felt like an endless abyss, into the very depths of Mother Earth. I couldn't even properly hold onto any senses either, as they bruised against my nose and sped with speed. My mind couldn't possibly properly register or comprehend the thousands of notes of minerals and waste trapped within the soil. But then, as we got enveloped by the sounds of pressure and rhythmic pounding all around me, the extremely sharp scent of iron pierced through the senses with growing, sickening clarity. Not iron. Blood. We had fallen so deep down into the world, we reached its living, pounding veins. But there, our descent ended. There was only so far as we could go before finally being rejected by the soil, as we weren't part of its form. Like a piece of wood tossed by force into water, we dropped as low as we could. But now, we had to be forced out with equivalent force. As Zarek's hand held firmly onto my hand, I felt the power of the yellow mana crystal's dust, first clinging onto his body, and then burning through his whole being, infusing him with racial power of the avians. Like a flash of lightning, we flew out of Mother Earth's crust, scattering rose petals along the gross soldiers in a violent burst of air, and we flew high into the sky, all the way to the roof of the castle. Even with a significant number of gunner soldiers reallocated to corner us on the lower floors, I could still see and feel a bunch of them evenly spread on strategic points across the castle and its outer walls. But not everywhere, not enough. Fully capitalizing on our current advantage, we ran over the roof, all the way to the edge, with 100 souls following our footsteps. But even the rain of crossbow bolt shots wasn't enough to stop us from jumping over the wall and the moat, with the first rays of breaking dawn shining over our faces. As we drove down into the capital city of the Crimson Royal Grove, the final sparks of avian magic flashed and sizzled out as we landed on the roof of one of the guardhouses. But still, we kept running, to the edge of one roof and onto another, hand in hand. I couldn't believe it. We actually managed to flee the castle. But our escape wasn't over yet. Far from it. As long as we were still in the city, we were amongst enemies. Despite our small victory, I couldn't keep the memory of my failed escape earlier from creeping to the back of my mind. Even then, I thought I was already free, and yet they still found me. So much fear swelled my mind, so much doubt. But then, all of those gears turned my head, and feeding doubts into my heart, were suddenly jammed shut by the sound of billowing laughter from my companion. As he ran over the smooth rooftops of these old, beautiful buildings, deeper and deeper into the heart of the city, I felt a teardrop of pure happiness hitting the tip of my snout as he shot at the top of his lungs. "Take that, wolves, in your bloody faces! You sons of... You won't ruin this one." It was a scary thing to hear the howls spreading across the castle, and then picking them up from various points across the city. First afar, then closer, and then everywhere, all over the city. Most of them weren't even gunner soldiers, just regular citizens, howling for the sake of howling. The whole city shaken by excitement, without knowing the context, drowned in a sea of voices. But then, the first arrow suddenly flew over our heads. Another one nearly hit us, barely deflected. Sorry. Berserk's dagger. Brief flashes of sunlight reflected from the polished pieces of armor and blades, wielded by approaching soldiers and guards. My ember is almost out. I can do one more jump. Oh no. It's fine. I'll hold on to it. We'll phase through at the bridge. If we can get to the river, we can lose them. Both the rat and I breathed with growing effort as the never-ending chase brought new hunters into the fray. Now, jumping over roofs behind us. Zarek flicked out one last magic crystal shard, crushing it between his teeth, just as two more dogs appeared on the top of the building 2 blocks away from ours. We jumped down the wall. Thick stream of magic heat spewed from the rat's body as he, still holding onto my hand, hooked his clawed feet over the brick wall and jumped off it with so much sudden strength it cracked and crumbled. Before the hunters from the rooftops could catch us, we shot through a wide open window of some a tavern, over the heads of sleepy-looking faces of some poor working dogs eating their morning kibble. Before they could even properly register what was going on, they were already out through the other window and into the busy market streets. The distant shouts of our pursuers, I could vaguely hear something about a rat assassin and the king's impostor, who was shot like that to rouse the hearts of the citizens. We had to find a way to escape everyone's eyes as soon as possible. The flames of unlit power still burned through him, as he used the sheer physical strength to drag me through and over the crowds of confused food merchants and regular citizens. But he didn't need the foreign mana crystals to help himself with magic. He has his own to use, too, after all. And boy, did he use it to the fullest. Surrounded by so many different stalls, he broke more unusable ones, quickly absorbing big chunks of their content into his holding seal. With the form of the bridge growing closer, the number of pursuers grew too. In the mad rush of absolute chaos, he used everything he could not to let him stop us. The clutter of the streets, the people, the conjured chunks of meat fruit and cabbages suddenly appearing under the hunter's feet. Zarek used everything he could to secure another step for us, another leap. Until finally, we reached the bridge. The 2 guards pointed their spears at us, and a sizable group from all around the district closed onto us like a swarm of monsters. We charged straight at the bridge guards as they eyed us with full intensity, braced themselves to strike and stop us. At that moment, all of Zarek's body cooled down, save for his dagger hurled arm. He flipped the dagger midair and grabbed at the tip of the blade, and, taking a deep breath, the last remains of the unlit power concentrated and shared through his arm. He tossed his only remaining weapon with such force it shattered the steel tip of the guard's spear, splitting through the middle of the wooden pole, nearly all the way to the wielder's fingers. Leaping through the shards of metal and splinters of wood, he jumped over the confused dog's head and shoulders, propelling ourselves into the air as the final spark of Zarek's ember was finally released to burn true. And we dove through the thick brick bridge. We fell underneath, and it into the Russian River. And again, through the ground and bricks and darkness, until finally our feet landed on wet, cold stone floor. Some kind of sewer system? Are we? Yes, this is it, kid. You're free now. Phew. I'm so glad nothing happened to Zarek. Don't say that, you're gonna jinx it. Yeah, I was worried for a moment too. Especially when he gave you his eye patch and... Don't interrupt me. I'm not done yet. Well, at least the two of you escaped, or whatever happens next is... Suddenly, Burry, sitting between me and Max, shuts both our mouths with quick swings of his arms, curving my lips with one hand and clasping Max's muzzle with the other. He glanced at him, surprised by the uncharacteristically brash nature. He stares at Aeon with his eyes wide open, waiting tensely for another word of the story. Aeon doesn't give us his usual smirk. He just nods. Where are we? Old sewers. Nobody comes here anymore. They will assume they were swept down the river. It smells strong. Meh, you get used to it. It used to be one of our hiding spots at one point, you know? So, we're still inside the city. Yes, but there is a few intact exits to the outskirts. Come, follow me. I mean, on the one hand, he has to train Aeon unless Aeon's self-trained, but then on the other, it's like... I don't know. So, we walked. It was difficult for me to navigate in that near darkness, while at the same time getting distracted by all the new, extremely potent scents. Zarek, however, seemed to know his way around those corridors by heart. He took the lead and helped me avoid most of the holes and other unpleasantries. At least most of them. Sometimes I would yelp from stepping into a deep puddle of mud, and he would make fun of me for overreacting. What's wrong? Didn't you say you liked your beans moisturized? Not like this. I'm not some stray dog to roll in mud. I'm free now, right? He didn't say anything, and yet I could feel joy and approval in his mind when, after a few moments of deliberation, I finally spread my arms and let myself fall into the wet, sticky mess. I rolled in it. I spread it all over my arms, face, torso. And then, I took a moment to simply rest in it. I don't like it. Heh, I thought you wouldn't. Do you regret doing it? No. Now, I know. The sun shone gently over our tired faces as we finally left the dark underground labyrinth, still in the early hours of the morning. The mud stuck glued to my fur and attire in wet patches from the high humidity of the underground. Ew, humidity. I couldn't wait for it to dry off in the daylight, so I could start shaking it off. I bet I would feel as tired as I am if I was him. Not really sleeping, you know? The path we took wasn't the best for that, though. Zarek, always careful and diligent, led us through the woods and bushes, away from the main road. It wasn't as sunny as the main road we saw nearby. However, even that was exciting to me. I was always heavily discouraged from running into places like this, and I always followed my caretaker's requests. Oh, there they are in the top left. It's so satisfying to rush through these shrubs and feel the branches, even though one of them smacked me in the nose so hard I let out a yelp. Yeah. Careful. We're still on the run, remember? Yes. Yes, I know. So, what now? You tell me. What do you want to do? You have all the freedom in the world to go wherever and do whatever you want. Um, you. You said you'd teach me how to be like you. Yes, I did. But you should still think a bit harder than that. It's neither easy nor a glamorous life, pup. Even for nimble rodents, with our innate magical powers, our skills are still earned, or hard earned. Those who don't make the cut die young. You worked hard to reclaim your life and your right to choose your path, to be the best version of yourself, not some imitation by someone else's design. Okay, yes, indeed. If that's the case, I choose to be even better than you, multitudes times more badass. But before I can do that, I need to get on your level first, right? So, you really are just a kid. Don't worry, I won't just abandon you. Whether you decide to stick around or not, I won't let go of you until you're good enough to stand back on your own 2 feet. Yes, adopt me. I want to be your 34th child. Whoa, wouldn't that make me king of all canines? That's not how that works. Darn, that's a shame. But that's fine, I guess. You aren't even king anymore anyway. You are a lone wolf. A woo. Don't make fun of me. I'm not. I'm really proud of you, kid. Despite the exhaustion of the whole sleepless night, I couldn't stop my tail from wagging as I followed him through the thick brushes, up the hill. The view of the Crimson Oil Grove revealed itself over the crowns of woods. What a beautiful sight. Take it all in while you can. You won't see your home for a while now, pup. I smiled, taking in the panorama of the city, my prison. At that moment, finally free from its bounds, it didn't feel oppressive at all. I was surprised to feel a sweet note of nostalgia as I stared at it, doing my best to commit every element of its beauty to my memory forever. The castle at the top of the tall hill, majestic marble den, kept warm and pure just for me. Where's the music? I marvel of our people that I've outgrown. A city below, sprawling for miles, the home of so many lives, my subjects. I didn't know what would happen to them, but as I followed in the footsteps of my master, I felt it that they would be fine. They were strong. They had freedom to shape their lives forever, or however they pleased, after all. A privilege even I didn't have until that day. As you walked higher and higher through the thick bushes on the hill, I saw the views of more familiar places. The streets I ran through on my failed escape attempt yesterday. Wait, did we escape yesterday and Brent was brought back and there was that horse or something? The distant figures of the merchant carriages by the taverns, the horses, the Komodo dragons. I could clearly see the tavern I tried to hide in too. That place. I couldn't stop staring at those buildings, those pubs. For some reason, something nagged in the back of my mind as I looked at them. Sarek? Where are we going now? Our temporary den, so home. You'll meet the rest of the kids. Why? Are you tired? I am, but me too. I'm all tapped out. Going down from Unglet Mana is especially rough on the body. But hold on a bit longer. We'll make a stop at Wagelheim. Told you I had a friend there, right? You can take a nap at his place. Wagelheim is that road there. Is it the road to Wagelheim? Yeah, but we're not taking the road. I know it's not the best walking through these annoying shrubs, but they work well to hide us. This plant has ma- this plant is masking scent too, and those berries are edible. You should try. You know a pub, Loopy Kennel? Oh, that's not in Wegelheim. That's the one right there. The one by the horse carriages. See? Why? Hey, what's wrong? I think we might cut it here because, yeah, and it's kind of hard to do these things sometimes where it's like, how long do these scenes go? And stuff like that. But it is kind of a bit of a scene change, you know? So, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please comment, because I like comments, how much you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise, if you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest to help it grow. And please remember to spay and neuter your animals to help control the pet population so it doesn't grow. And until next time, and if you want to play this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game and are get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month. And until next time, another Let's Play, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. So thanks and see ya.